When COVID-19 hit and school suddenly shut down, after-school programs like the Downtown Boxing Gym and the Boys and Girls Club of Southeast Michigan stepped up for students like never before.
I knew, but I guess I didn't know how much the youth really need to connect with our staff and need to be able to connect with that safe place.
Our work during this time has just been all about showing up for our kids and fulfilling every commitment that we previously promised so that nobody slipped through the cracks.
1 year later, we're talking about lessons learned during this trying time with our experts from the front lines. Episode 1 of this podcast, focused on pivoting during the pandemic, starts now. Hello, I'm Terry Whitfield, a program officer for the Skillman Foundation. Since 1960, our foundation has been dedicated to the outcomes of Detroit's youth. Currently, we're focused on 3 systems and how we can help to improve those systems, whether it's the K-12 system, college and career pathway system, and the after-school system. Today, we're talking about after-school programs, specifically the Boys and Girls Club of Southeast Michigan and the Downtown Boxing Gym in Detroit. Taking it back to the beginning of COVID, we were fortunate to partner with both of these organizations and watch as they pivoted during such unprecedented times. I sat down with Jessica Hauser, Executive Director of Downtown Boxing Gym, and Sean Wilson, President of the Boys and Girls Clubs of Southeastern Michigan, to learn more about these amazing organizations and what happened behind the scenes during this crisis.
My name is Jessica Hauser, Executive Director of the Downtown Boxing Gym in Detroit. We are an out-of-school time program that really focuses on supporting the whole child. We have kids 8 to 18 and have a unique opportunity to be able to have them all year round for years. So we find all those light bulb moments and build on them year over year and create a really individualized plan for every student. And since our program was founded in 2007, every single student has graduated from high school, which we're incredibly proud of. And 98% of our high school graduates have gone off to college or trade school, and those that didn't select that path are in a career.
Thank you, Jessica. And thank you for what you and Khalid and the whole team at Downtown Boxing Gym does for the young people that you service every day. Sean, how about you, sir? How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. So Boys and Girls Club of Southeastern Michigan has been around for 95 years. So it's really one of those legacy brands. And when I came on as president 2.5 years ago, we really sought to reimagine our role in the community. And so we reimagined our mission to focus on economic mobility. And what that means for the Boys and Girls Clubs is that our youth will leave the clubs career startup and homeowner ready. So career ready from a standpoint of they can earn a livable wage, startup ready, meaning they can start their own business, which effectively means they can create their own jobs, and then home ownership, because that's the backbone of wealth building in our country. And it's also how generations pass wealth between each other.
Awesome. And I use the term awesome in the most literal sense of the term. Like, as a funder, as a foundation, we are only as strong or as effective as our partners that we have the blessing to be able to partner with. So just thank you both for being strong partners in the work. Jessica, from your perspective, how are the children? All right, when you think about the young people starting from March of 2020 until now, how are the kids doing that attend Downtown Boxing Gym?
It's been a long year. There's definitely the psychological impact, the mental health impact that's happening for them throughout this year. I will say, based on what they've shared with us, is they just feel thankful to have been able to still come to a space for most of the last year, still be able to see other kids, feel supported, be able to navigate school, both from the kids and parents' perspective. There's just like deep concern about how kids were going to make it through this school year and then be ready for next year. All in all, I'll say they're in a much better space than maybe what would have happened if the support pieces weren't in place.
Sean, same question to you, not just in Detroit, but really from a regional perspective. How are the children doing right now?
People always say that kids are resilient. And I think that's true to a certain extent, but also I think that kids are really good at bearing trauma, right? And so I think ultimately years to come, the trauma that they've experienced over the last year is going to continue to manifest, right? And it's going to continue to come out in unhealthy ways unless we really put together a strong game plan to affect that. I think we've been able to lean in and kind of help them navigate some of that trauma during a very trying time. And being that safe place was core to our mission. And ultimately, whether that's in person or virtually, you have to do that.
That leads into our next question, is around pivoting. So when you think about like this movement from what was in 2019 to what is now, it requires some pivoting. How have you, Sean, if you could speak to like how the Boys and Girls Club has pivoted in order to maintain connections and still and maintain its place as a meaningful resource in the lives of the young people and the families that you work with?
When COVID hit, we knew we were going to have to pivot quickly. We knew we were going to have to be agile. And one of the words we used in the very beginning was we have to stay relevant. On day one, we had a meeting with the staff, and we didn't furlough any of our staff. We decided to keep all of our staff and ultimately put them into different work streams. And so one work stream was food distribution. Another work stream focused on the virtual club and getting that up and running. And then the third work stream was focused on how do we come back. So we put all of our staff into those 3 work streams. And then we said, but we can't forget what our core business is, which is serving kids in person. We opened our doors early May to children of essential workers, but then we kept the virtual programming going simultaneously. We had to put youth first in this, and understanding that you had essential workers and parents who had to go to work. And so you had kids at home alone.
Going over to you, Jessica, if you could talk about how you and your team pivoted to meet the moment, and then and what that looked like for you.
The way that Kali Sweeney, our founder and CEO, runs the organization is really with the mindset of always remaining as nimble as possible, which served us incredibly well during this time. And we've also, since the beginning have functioned with this mindset. We need to always be raising dollars so we have reserves. I just want to say that because it's really a privilege to be at a place where we can talk about pivoting because we've gotten ourselves to that position. So the district closed on Friday. That following Monday, we had our virtual platform stood up. We didn't miss a day of programming. And we do have drivers and vehicles, so another amazing, asset. And that Monday, we dropped off technology, boxes of food. We just emptied all of our refrigerator, freezer cupboards. We don't normally step into the space of feeding the entire family, but we're doing it now. And then began having conversations about, how do we reopen? Again, included parents and focus groups. What are your concerns? What are the needs? How do we do this together? We also made the commitment from the beginning and, got aligned with our board that one of our top priorities was to not lay anybody off.
I do want to shout out funders because the funders were, like Skillman, were amazing at saying, hey, you have this restricted grant, forget about that. And I can tell you that was huge for us to not have that stress of saying, here are resources that we can't touch, but we need to because of COVID.
Funders have been amazing. And yet it did take some time to get dollars released. So there was a long period of time of like, we don't know how we're going to pay for this, but it is the right thing to do, and we have to do it.
Thank you both so much for sharing your insights. To recap, flexibility was key for both organizations to be able to adapt and meet the moment. Resilience was another important factor, the commitment to the children and families you serve, and faith in the community, in science, in your teams, and your funders and supporters played a big role in helping you both pivot and be there for students when they needed it most. This podcast is sponsored by the Skillman Foundation. If you'd like to learn more about what we do, please visit skillman.org. To learn more about Downtown Boxing Gym, please visit dbgdetroit.org. Again, that's dbgdetroit.org. And for more about Boys and Girls Club of Southeastern Michigan, visit BGCSM.org. Again, BGCSM.org. We're going to continue this conversation. In our next episode, we'll be talking about collaboration. I hope you'll join us. I'm Terry Whitfield, and have a great day.